Welcome to the Land Your Bets and also JediModi collab sports betting live show. Full on collab here, man. This is 50-50. So what's good with you today? How we feeling?
Doing great. Back at was yesterday at my in-laws. Now I'm back at my parents, just traveling around, making sure I can spend enough time with every family member. But no, things are good. Things are good. Parents' basement, which is where I made the joke last time, where everybody thought I would be over 30 years old, just back in my parents' basement.
They didn't think you'd have a mic in front of you, maybe though. So that's cool. You got that going for you.
Yeah, it's true. Unless it was like World of Warcraft, like that South Park episode.
The headset. I could see that for you. I'm gonna be honest. We all nerded out in our own time, but we got a lot to talk about today because we have NFL and we have NBA, and I know there's gonna be some looks for a lot of different stuff. I kind of wanted to get to the NFL, just go through our plays. If anybody has anything that they throw in the chat now early, we'll go through that stuff as best we can. But by no later than let's call it 5:55 I'd like to be getting over to the NBA. So we'll see how fast we can get through a couple of these games. I didn't have a video for the Raiders Falcons. Did you kind of put everything into one video for your plays?
Yeah, I did everything into one.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that game sucks. So I don't blame you for not having anything. That game is just, who knows what the heck to do with that one.
I don't know, honestly. But do you want to just kick us off with anything that you have for either game at this point?
Yeah, well, I guess we can start.
I'm gonna get to NFL.
This comment made me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start.
I really hope your mom interrupts the show, but let's get it going.
My dad did one time. He
amazing.
He came down because we were ordering sushi and I accidentally wrote down the order wrong. So he didn't realize that I was on a call and he was like, "Are we getting the spicy tuna?"
Well, I'm hoping your mom comes down with stop talking trash on the Eagles or something to that effect.
She does. Yeah, no, she might. They might actually be watching this upstairs. But my mom, my mom will yell at me if I say too many mean things about the Eagles.
It's amazing.
Anyways,
where are you starting?
We'll start with the first game. Well, so we're doing NFL. Yeah. So
yeah.
I got two plays in this one. The first game. The first one is we'll start with the scariest. Is Keenan Allen. I took him 60 plus receiving yards. Right now, best offered at plus 140 at Bet365. This is like a classic, one of my favorite plays because last time we saw the Bears play football, it looked like they've never played football before. It was disgusting. And it's like a weird situation for them where their new head coach wasn't even their offensive coordinator to begin the year. They fired the dude that came over from Seattle, Waldron, because that guy's a schmuck.
Shane Waldron.
Yeah, they fired him, and then they promoted Thomas Brown, who Tom Brown, because you have a more boring name. Just saying, Thomas Brown.
Unfortunate name.
And then they fired their head coach Eberflus, who's also a schmuck. So now this guy, I guess I can forgive them for having such a weird game last week. I think it's going to get back a little bit more towards normal, which is what we saw the first 2 weeks post the Shane Waldron firing. And those 2 weeks, Keenan Allen was really involved. That includes one game against his Vikings team where he had 15 targets, which is insane, 86 yards on that. And this is a game where the Bears are going to need to pass the ball. The Vikings defense is a pass funnel. They allow the fourth fewest rushing yards per game, third best run defense DVOA, but you could pass on them. They allow literally number one, the most receiving yards and receptions to wide receivers, literally number one in both categories. Obviously, those are correlated, but yards and receptions to wide receivers. And one thing that I like specifically why I'm going with Keenan Allen is because he does most of his damage out of the slot, right? He has the highest rate of his routes run in the slot position. Yeah. But because of the Vikings aggressive defense, they blitz a lot, they also give up a lot of work to the slot position. On the entire year, 10th highest target share has gone to the slot. Since week 8, that's gone up to the 5th most. And Keenan Allen, like I said, he runs the most of his routes on the team from the slot. He's got the best separation score and win rate on the team from the slot as well. And then you look at zone coverage, which is what the Vikings run at the 6th highest rate in the league. So which makes it, they do a bunch of zone blitzes, which is why you see the correlation here. Keenan has the best separation score and targets per route run against zone coverage. So I like Keenan tonight. You could take his main line at 49 or 50.5, depending on what books you're looking at. I guess you can get a 50.5 at minus 110 or 49.5 at minus 120. Everybody knows knows that I would rather just pump that up to get plus money. So I did the 60 plus. And like I said, last time he played the Vikings, he had 86 receiving yards on 15 targets.
Yep. Yeah. No notes. I think this is the guy for sure. I believe David, remind me, was that who we were talking about too? Is that who you liked more so than maybe DJ Moore in this game?
Yeah. I think that's the way I would go. I really like Modi's read on this, and if someone's going to go off in this game, I think it's likely him.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you again, David, for this sick little rundown here. That's so nice, color coordinated. Find you somebody who is as good as what they do as David is at producing shows after like a week of it, because this is money, and this is a lot of what you were talking about, Modi. The only thing really not on here that you were mentioning is the pressure percentage and the blitz percentage, which if you follow the NFL at all for the last 10 years and have heard the name Brian Flores, wherever Brian Flores goes means that his team is going to suicide blitz pretty often in a game and just bring the house. So I think that whoever you think is going to be getting some shorter targets, DJ Moore is still probably viable, but I think Keenan Allen against this matchup, we'll see it better from the slot, to your point, is the biggest difference, right? Rather than those sort of short bubble screens and things that sometimes you might see for DJ Moore. This is a little bit more down the seams, that kind of thing for Caleb Williams, and get it out quick. Just a quick route. We don't even have time for you to cut, man. Just keep going and get behind the linebacker, and I'll get you, right?
Just run and turn around, and hopefully the ball.
Run and turn around is literally it. Yeah. If like when we were playing in like you draw the play on your hand, it's like just come right back. I like the Keenan Allen look. I have a I don't know if it's correlated. I think it's correlated in the fact that DeAndre Swift is not going to have a big game. So let's see what he's at, because I've given this out on 3 different shows now. His under on the rushing yards alone. Yeah, it's 50.5. And I said I would take it down to 50.5. I think that's what I said on our show on Sunday morning on your channel as well. That was where I was at with him, because you allowed me to give a Monday night bet out. So I appreciate that. But yeah, for Swift, it's super simple, man. This is a very good run defense. They are going to be able to stop the run. They are going to continue to be a pass funnel. And there's probably a negative game script coming from the Bears. I'm a little bit hesitant. It's almost just one of those things where it's like every single person and their mom is on the Vikings to like just annihilate this team. So it makes me nervous at that point when you see that. But at the same time, like, I don't know that we need to overcomplicate this thing, and I don't know where this team is going to pick it up. So 13 carries since Thomas Brown got there. Their play percentage has dropped a bunch. I believe David had that on this as well. And whatever we see here for their pass play percentage right here. So it's up to 53.8%, which is 10th highest, or this is the defense, excuse me. Pass play percentage up here, up to 8th for the Bears in the league, right? And so that's in part because
they're always
losing. Offense is bad, right? Yeah, they're losing all of the time. The adjusted yards before contact for their offensive line is poo-poo. Talked about that in my video for this game last night. So this Vikings team is, even though they're giving up a ton, by the way, in the past too, they have the 3rd best pass EPA. It's just that's what they force you to do.
Yeah,
that's what Caleb's going to have to do, right? So that's pretty much that for me. Did you have one more or anything else you want to touch on this?
Yeah,
game?
I got one more. Honestly, when I first was looking at this, I didn't realize there were 2 games on Monday night, so I found one play on each team that was both plus money, which is perfect. But I do have one for the other game as well. So this one's actually a ladder. I have Aaron Jones rushing yards ladder. I took 70 plus at right now to give you guys the best offered price. Right now, 70 plus is plus 112. So that one did skyrocket. And 80 plus looks like plus 176. Both those are at FanDuel. I played both of them. I laddered him up to 80 plus. That's kind of the ceiling for him, because like he gets consistent work, but you're not going to see him get like the Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, like 26 carries. Like he's going to get between 15 and 20 most often. And he's very efficient, which I'm guessing is why they limit his carries. So he'll get you like 70 to 80 yards on those 15 rushing attempts. If he gets a little bit more, that'd be a bonus. But only 3 times this year he's gotten fewer than 10. One of those games he left early, played 22% of the snaps, so that one doesn't really count. Take that game out, he's hit at least 70 yards in 7 of 12 games, in 6 of his last 10. And of the 7 games in which he hit 70, only once did he not get 80. So like one time this year, he's landed between 70 and 80 rushing yards, which is why I also like the ladder play. And the Vikings are a good rushing team, 7th best rushing grade according to fantasy points. And the matchup against the Bears, like their run defense is just an abomination. On the season, 3rd most rushing yards per game they've allowed. And a lot of that is like game script, right? If you're just looking at rushing yards. But a lot of the stuff that's not game script specific shows how bad their run defense is. Like 5th lowest stuff rate in the NFL, which is like how many carries go for 1 or 2 yards or doesn't get a first down. There's like a couple different metrics, but basically how often do you stuff a run? 5th lowest rate in the NFL. They allow the 6th highest explosive run rate, which is a good sign for someone like Aaron Jones, who kind of rattles off these explosive runs. Again, he's not going to volume his way here. And they allow the highest adjusted yards before contact per attempt, which that's a mouthful. I know me and you both have talked about that a lot, but basically just looks at normal run plays. So it takes out QB scrambles, QB kneels, wide receiver screens, anything like, or wide receiver end arounds or runs, whatever. It just looks at like normal running plays.
Right.
What's the yards before contact on those? And literally allow the highest. The Bears allow the highest, number one worst in that category. So I think the Vikings are going to be winning the majority of this game. I think they're going to give Aaron Jones 15 to 20 carries, and I'd be shocked if he doesn't at least get to 70 yards on that.
Yep. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, this is a team we just saw him do this against. The Bears would have to come out of nowhere and surprise me to the point that you're making. Like if they're going to get in between the tackles, I don't buy that. I also consider the receiving yards, but I do think Sam Darnold's going to throw it downfield. I think he's going to have plenty of success. Like Jordan Addison is good. Like newsflash and legit newsflash because it wasn't before 4 games ago. TJ Hawkinson is healthier than he's been. He just keeps getting better. We just saw him destroy this team. They'll probably be I think they're going to continue to just do what they do. They get the lead early. They have the best point differential in the first half, or the top 3 now. It was tops in the league. Down to top 3 in terms of point differential in the first half. So they're leading. They have like in the top 10 in terms of the amount of possessions that they have leading as well. And if Aaron Jones Sr., for whatever reason, he needed to add that, not to be confused with Junior, who's probably like 4, for whatever reason, then like, I don't, the only reason to not play him is they're so far ahead that they just want to get Ty Chandler some work, which David and I were talking about. But really, I think it's going to be close enough. If it's within 2 scores, you're still going to have Aaron Jones out there a ton. So if you like him on the rush attempts for about 15, 16, I see zero reason that he's not going to be able to carve them up to the point that you're making. So I'm with you on everything Aaron Jones. What's the tutty at for him? -115. That's a hard pass.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, 3 in a row. Congrats, but no, I don't need to mess with that. I think Sam Darnold is a good 1.5 touchdowns is one more thing I'll add to. I do think that's a good look. Put that in the video last night as well. That I know you're going to get this juice down, but it's still EV at -154 against this team and how often he's doing it. I think 4 in a row, right? Obviously had the 5 tutty game against the Falcons, but really also then you look at 4 in a row, 6 of his last 7. Last game he didn't was the Jets and the Jags as well, which was so weird. I don't even know what to make of this game, but that game screwed me a lot.
That was just one of those. Yeah, that was just one of those games that just happens.
Yep, I got no explanation for that one, so we moved past it. But I think that if you wanted to add this and then money, the money line with the Vikings, or you want to take an alt spread under a touchdown with the Vikings, however you want to get it, I think that's a good look for Sam Darnold. So that was my last real desired play. I think Hawkinson's also due for a big game, not a play that I put out, but anything else from this one? I also like Caleb Williams to get the interception, by the way. That was my wonky one, and I don't think it's great odds still. But I don't know. I mean, he's gone 7 in a row. This is like our nice little regression back to the norm kind of thing. Under is actually plus money. Over is down to -125. I still
I mean, right. he puts the ball in harm's way. Yeah,
100%. So all right, let's move to the other footy game and give that about 8 to 10 minutes here.
Yeah, if that this game stinks. The only bet that I locked in was Bijan Robinson rushing yards. These odds have also got nuked. I got 89.5 at -110. Right now, that's up to 85.5. At that point, if you're playing 85.5, just take the 90 plus, which is looks like +110. If you're going to bet it at this point, this is less of a play. Like normally when I'm looking at NFL, and I mean, honestly, any sport, I try to like really get into the nitty gritty, nerdy matchup. This is really just volume. Like the Raiders run defense is fine. They're middle of the pack in terms of any stat you look at. Like they're not really a top 10 bad defense in any advanced rushing stat, but they did just lose Max Crosby, who's a good run defender and just a good defender in general. And running is up across the board this year. So like a Raiders defense that's middle of the pack in terms of rushing yards allowed have still been smoked by running backs in the past. Like last week, 90 yards to Rashad White. That was a game in which Bucky Irving got hurt. And like just going through the game log, 120 to Chase Brown, 106 to Najee, 114 to Chuba Hubbard, 135 to J.K. Dobbins. Like you can have the Raiders run defense. And Bijan's been awesome. Like the Falcons, nobody cares about them because Kirk Cousins has been terrible for the past month. But Bijan's cashed this in 4 of his last 5, 6 of his last 8. And the Falcons are also a sneaky run-heavy team. And like if you think that they're going to be winning this game, which they should, because the Raiders are just a complete mess. 9th highest rush rate in the NFL. That's just blanket. That's not looking anything deeper than just like how often do you rush the ball. 9th highest in the NFL, but 2nd highest rush rate when they're winning by 7+. So basically they get a lead and they're like, Kirk, you're not blowing this lead for us. We are going to run the ball. And if you think they're going to be winning this game, they're probably going to give the ball to Bijan a ton. You could also like, if you didn't want to mess with anything that high, you could go Algier, but they've really been scaling his workload down and been ramping up Bijan. And like this game could possibly be for the division. No, not this specific game, but like the Falcons are trying to win their division. The Bucks have the lead in that one. So yeah, I took Bijan in this one, and that's the only bet that I officially have locked in. If If I had bigger stones, I would take Kyle Pitts receiving yards because it's like fits the perfect matchup plus fade of recent results. But even I'm spooked off of Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those ones too where I feel like if you put that out and the people that follow you were like, "Come on, man, please don't make me bet on Kyle Pitts."
Yeah.
Which is the text I got like 2 weeks ago from a buddy who's also in the VIP and was like, "Come on, man, please don't make me bet on Tobias Harris." And I was like, "Sorry, dude."
He's on that list for sure.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. And then you find the good matchup and he's still not going to hit. But yeah, I agree with you with Bijan. I also agree with Algier, to be honest. I mean, I don't know how much fight this Raiders team's going to have. And I can see this this Falcons team trying to put it on them for sure, playing in this situation. So I'm with you on that. Quick interruption to I don't have anything for this game. I'm really happy to not spend that much time. I like a lot more in the 5 NBA games that we have that I'm happy to talk about. And I definitely want to see if there's some value or some stuff that I still haven't found in some of these NBA games as some injury news has come out. So we're going to get into that. Quick reminder to go ahead and give the video a like. Obviously goes a super long way. Much appreciated. Like it on both channels because we got this co-broadcasting on the JediModi stream as well. So all y'all in here with Modi, go ahead and hit that as well. The other thing for me is that you're going to see a couple promos running on the bottom line. Thanks to David throwing those up. There's like 5 different books that we have a partnership with that if you don't yet have and you sign up, use code LYB, and then that'll get you also a free month in the VIP Discord, in addition to obviously getting all the bonuses that you get for hitting that stuff. If you don't yet have REBET or UNDERDOG, just have an account with everything you can that's in your area. That's the recommendation here. All right, I'm good on that, honestly. And yeah, I think Sam Darnold is a good for the touchdowns. I'm putting that up on the bottom line right now. And while I do that, I'm going to let you filibuster with a pick if that's cool as we get into the NBA. And I give one more announcement, which is that if you don't yet have an account with Props Madness, I highly recommend it. If you do use code LYB on here, you'll get 25% off your first month. So if you do want that, I don't know how much more I can say about this platform, which gives me everything I need pretty much in one spot. But all right, let's kick it off wherever you want to. I try to go in order of the games as much as possible, but
yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm concerned. Cool.
Yeah, we'll start. I do have one in the 76ers Hornets game. Admittedly, these odds have just gotten annihilated over the course of the day. So like the price that I got is not even close to being available. It's my boy Gershon Yabusele rebounds. I got him 6+. I got him at +140. That's down to -1 on a real book, -120. So like crazy line movement. If at this point just take 7 or 8+, for me, like I'm not messing anything -120 on him. You can get 7+ at +155 at Bet365, or if you really want to go spicy, 8+ at +300 at Fliff. Like this is kind of similar to the Bijan one, where it's not really a play on like a juicy matchup. Like the Hornets are not a bad matchup. The data on them is a little bit wonky because like we don't know, like there's half the year, not even more than that, has been played without half their team. Like the centers just came back. LaMelo's coming back tonight. Bridges has been out for a little bit.
Yep.
So like, I don't really know what to make of the Hornets. What I do know is that Gershon Yabusele's taken more and more of Andre Drummond's minutes as the season has gone on. And that's the biggest thing here. Like you look at the game, just look at like the minutes. First 8 games of the year, only got to 25 or more minutes twice in the first 8 games. Sorry, I'm looking at, I should clarify, with Andre Drummond, without Joel Embiid. So I'm looking at with Drummond, without Embiid, because that's important.
Let me bring that up for you. I got distracted, but I'm gonna do better for you.
No, you're good. No, yeah. I guess I honestly
with Drummond in and with Embiid out, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because like games without Drummond aren't always super helpful.
Yeah.
And then you go to the minutes. I think there should be 14 games. Only twice in the first 8 did he hit 25 or more minutes. He's done that in every game since. With the clarifier, that one game I'm rounding up, he had like 24.7 minutes. So even if you don't allow me to round up, it's 5 of 6 in his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, the rebound chances is up to like over 15 per game. So he's been rebounding the ball well. He's playing a lot of minutes. And if you look at games in which he's played 25 minutes, which I think he's going to get to 30 tonight, but let's just pretend it's there. Let's just go for the sake clarity, or just go safe. On the season in games in which he's played 25 or more minutes, he averages 7.5 rebounds, 15.6 rebound chances per game. And he's played the Hornets twice this year. In those 2 games, 8 rebounds in one, 12 in another. Now the 12 game was no Andre Drummond and 17 to 20 rebound chances. So like, even if you want to take out the 12 game, that's still like, we're asking him to get half those rebounds. You know what I mean? So I thought this was just an insane price on my guy Yabo, who everybody remembers him from dunking on LeBron. But he's
I
been
know.
really good. Like the Sixers kind of found something here. And again, after not playing him the first 8 games of the year, like Nick Nurse realized that they have something and they've been playing him a lot more. And he's been really good.
Yep. Top 10 nicknames right now in the league as well. The Dancing Bear.
Yeah.
For Gersh. I mean, honestly, what's great in America is his name is so awesome to say anyway that we don't need a nickname for him. We just call him Yabu. But for whatever reason, he's the Dancing Bear.
Dancing Bear is very good.
It makes sense. He's a smiley dude with the size of a bear. So that kind of adds up. Shaped like a bear as well.
Yeah.
I like it too. So here's why I gave this out as well. In the VIP Discord, I gave it out 5.5 minus 120 was the number I got. And the thing that scared me off it and was I didn't just give it out right away today as I was like really pondering it is Pinnacle, the sharpest book that's offered on here on Props Madness that will show up. They have been, first of all, they have the lowest number for it. So they have the lowest implied odds for him to go over the 5.5. That at least is something that just is a talking point for me. The other aspect of it within that is that it was dropping. It was like minus 103. After it got back up to like minus 115, now it's minus 118 on that book. I was kind of like, all right, like, look, my projections are if this dude plays 25 minutes, he gets 7 boards. That's really it. And part of that is going to be some stuff that I've shown people on here on the show before, which is the on-off stuff using fantasy labs. So you can get the actual on-court numbers with each lineup that you want, which becomes really important for teams like Philly, which, like you said, similar to Charlotte, has had dudes in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Embiid is Embiid. We'll just leave it at that for now. And
broken face.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want because of you're a Sixers fan, so you know the frustration. But I'm going to put Drummond out here. Or no, I'm not going to put Drummond. Yeah, I'm going to put what did I do? I did
no Drummond. Yeah, no Drummond.
I left Drummond off. I put because they're also not going to play together, right? So I'm not worried about that. Yeah. But I took Tyrese, Paul George, Gershon, and Kelly Tsunami Poppy, put them on the floor together at the same time. And the only guy I would want to take off is like Caleb Martin because he's also not playing. I guess we should take out McCain, Martin, and Embiid. Embiid. Did I take him off yet? McCain, but yeah, and Embiid. So I'm going to take them off court. And it's not a humongous sample size, so it's not the end-all be-all. But it is in 32 minutes together on the floor. If I do this per 36 and change it to standard, you can see it's at like, where did I not take Drummond off? My bad. Let me take Drummond off. Take Drummond off the floor. Because once again, they do not play together. Gershon's probably going to start at small center, and you're going to get KJ Martin at the power forward spot too. Which, by the way, sneaky good look might be KJ Martin. But rebounds right here for Gershon, 14 and a half per 36. I don't think he's playing 36 minutes. And it's not like you can just extrapolate this out and say, great, he's getting 14 boards. But if you do it per minute and then you just multiply that as you need, you're going to see it be a really nice number. It's like 0.4. Yeah, 0.4 rebounds per minute. You multiply that by 25 minutes. That's 7 boards. You multiply it by 30 minutes, right? You're getting closer to 9 boards.
Yeah.
So like, I'm good with it. Based on how he's playing with the lineup that he's going to most likely see more than any, once again, can take Caleb Martin out there. I meant to take Caleb Martin, not KJ. This is actually going to be worse when you put KJ out there. I was like, that's too high, actually. My bad. It should have KJ Martin. No, come on. I just did it again. Take off.
Too many Martins.
Come on, Martin. Damn, Gina. That is an old school reference. 0.33. So either way, that number comes out to 25 minutes, 7 boards. That's all I need to know, because if his floor is 25 minutes, which we expect it to be, and safely playing that at that number, then yeah, I'm great with Gershon. We both like him. I'm going to put him on the bottom line. Did you have anything else from this game?
No, nothing else in this game. I was looking at, and someone mentioned it to be clear. Mark Williams points. They really like because he's just been playing more and he's been good. And if it's Yabo, he's going to have the size advantage over him. If it's Drummond, he's going to have the Drummond stinks advantage over him. Yeah. So again, I didn't play it. Somebody that I trust put that out there. It's I think 10 plus at plus 155 is the number. So yeah, that I didn't bet it. So just want to be clear about that. But that's the only other thing I looked at in this game.
Points, not rebounds. You're saying too?
Points. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, I mean, it's weird because he's probably starting again, and Nick Richards played like 15 minutes last game, which was so odd. I don't really know what to do with him.
Yeah.
I can see that. I don't really want to have to figure out which one of them is going to play, but I would for sure lean Mark Richards at this point.
Mark Williams, I mean?
Whatever. God, yeah. Damn, I knew I was going to do that once. I knew I was going to do it at least once. I do have a bet on Paulie G. I took Paul George on the dimes. Let's see where that's at.
Yeah,
okay,
that's solid.
Get it for a good number. Okay, so I am in disagreement with people. I took him no, that's not fair. I took him for plus 125 on the 6+ for him on FanDuel, which is FanDuel should be pulling through again on this site within the next week, by the way, for those of you who are on Props Madness and have noticed that FanDuel is no longer here. They changed something around, but the guys are getting that connected again. Either way, plus 125 was the number I took. That was actually on Bet365, which is plus still the number one.
Yeah, plus 105 now.
Mm-hmm. I'm honestly still good with that. This was a similar look right here. Even if you just leave these dudes on the floor, you're going to see Paul George getting it's about 8 assists per 36. His minutes are back up. I don't like Maxey as a playmaker. I mean, you probably watch more 76ers than me, but I don't like him as a playmaker.
He's not a high level. Yeah, he's not a high level. Yeah,
he's shooting a lot off the drive. If you go to NBA stats and you look at his drive stats, which just so everybody knows, it's really easy. NBA advanced stats page, go to players. Tracking data is where you can find drives. So if I do that and I look at this thing that I'm looking at when I go to just the 76ers is going to be how often Maxey is driving and then how often is he passing off of those drives this season. And if you look at him driving, his assist percentage on the drives is at about 4.6.
That's crazy.
Pass percentage is at 27.5. So 3/4 of the time that he drives, he is not passing. I don't know why that would increase without Joel Embiid on the floor. So, I don't like that as much for him. And that just leads me to like the Paul George passing a lot more, who's a lot more hurt and is passing on more than half of his drives, which he's not doing that many times per game, but second most on the team. And yet he's passing 58% of the time. Paul George isn't trying to go dunk on people anymore. He's not trying to go all the way to the rim. This is a big reason for what I'm looking at here. This is basically the point guard, in my opinion. If you want to talk about actual facilitator and not scoring guard with the ball in his hands, Maxey's a different type of player in that sense. So I like the assists for PG, and I'm really close to pulling the trigger here, man, on Miles Bridges. So this has gone too far. Now it's back out 13.5, but here's what I'm looking at. LaMelo Ball, which, by the way, David, I believe you had the LaMelo Ball comment up, which was really helpful because this is what I was talking about with the guys in the VIP Discord is that I think LaMelo Ball is the one on a legit minutes restriction and Miles Bridges is not. Miles Bridges isn't even on the injury report, and LaMelo Ball, it's been said, is going to be on a minutes restriction tonight, which is what I projected because it's a strain. It's a calf strain. If you follow the Hornets, they've been saying all season, we're going to take it really slowly with LaMelo Ball. So even though he might be good enough to play legit minutes, they're not going to. They already said that. So if he's on a minutes restriction, then we're talking about Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges at that point. And Bridges is at 13.5 on the season. He's at 16. If you give him 30 minutes on the season, he's over. Obviously, that sounds silly to even bring up, but if you give him the 30 minutes, he's over in 5 of 7. He's at 17 points a game. I got to believe he's at 30 minutes tonight. I'm talking myself into hitting this at minus 105 now is where we're at. Any qualms with that? I'm happy to take rebuttals to see what I'm missing here.
No, I don't have anything. My only rebuttal is just play 15 plus. If you're going to play over 13.5, just play 15 plus at plus 115.
Yep, that's the classic plus money banger that you're going to get from Modi. I also like that it's minus 131 on Pinnacle, obviously. Yeah, I'm going to bet that. I'm putting that on the bottom line right now. That's one that I haven't added yet. So I've got your Yabu bet. I've got my Yabu bet. I've got PG over 5.5 assists, and I've got Miles Bridges that I'm about to give out as well. I'm taking that over 13.5. I get what you're saying too about the 15 plus. I might even just go 3/4 of a unit and 1/4 of a unit, but I got to take over 13 points, 13.5. I think he's good for at least 15. Easy,
that's super low. That's super low.
It's just too low. This is not a great defense. Yeah. Yes, Mark. That. I'm glad you brought that up, and thanks for sharing that one, David. I think so. I hate to say cash out. I don't. 23.5 is still really low. I mean, real quick, if we do this for LaMelo and you just want to look at how many points per minute he's scoring, we don't even really have to do it here, but it takes 2 seconds. Go to Charlotte. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not even going to change anything. I'm just going to leave LaMelo on court, and per minute, LaMelo Ball is scoring 0.92 points per minute. It's stupid.
Basically a point. Yeah, that's
point a minute. So let's say he plays 25, super conservative. We know what that is, basically. It's basically 25 points. It's 23 points. So they probably have him at the projections from the books, and the people that are making projections is probably 25 minutes tonight. If you think he plays a minute more, I have no reason to think he's not going to score 24 points. I'm going to actually change my answer to don't cash out. I rarely would ever recommend to do it. But I would say let it ride, man. I don't know. Did you have a thought on that one?
I mean, you're never going to feel bad taking LaMelo Ball points because you know he's going to shoot the ball a ton. And like, that's not like the best logic, but sometimes it also is.
Sometimes it is, because if you ask yourself, are you going to be more pissed? Let's do it this way. Are you going to be more pissed if you cash out and it hits, or if you don't cash out and it doesn't hit? Let that be your guide for this one, because I think it is close to 50-50 in that point. All right. So I'm good on this game. I was obsessed with this game because I like when there's dudes that are out of the lineup and you can really use this on-off court stuff to help you kind of see how maybe the books are not giving enough value to a player. Like Gershon is kind of where we're at. So yeah, I got Miles Bridges added to the card now. Anything from the Heat Pistons. I am on a strict no Miami Heat diet for anybody who's been following along. I don't bet them. I don't know what Spo's going to do. I don't know what Jimmy Butler is going to do. I'm out. I'm just out.
Yeah, I didn't bet this game. It would be Duren, but he's been out for like a week, and I don't know how much he's going to play. And his rebounds have been like really weirdly down the games he played up until being out. So I ended up being off of him. And I also looked at Cade assists, but like his assists make me nervous because his potential assist conversion rate is such a high number. It feels like he's just been flying too close to the sun. Like he had a lot of games where it's like 10 assists on 14 potential, 10 assists on 14 potential. So I got nothing in this one. Those are the only two that I looked at, but I wouldn't even recommend them as a lean.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying too. I looked at Cade a lot for the RA. Like you're saying, I was saying on my episode last night for this slate that I would love this at 15.5 and like love it and not just like it. Now it might go down. Yeah. We might start seeing 15.5s the way that they juice this down. That is somewhat of a key number. Look how many times he finished on 16.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games with exactly 16 rebounds and assists. 8 and 8 is about what you're going to see for his season averages, right? Or 7 and 9, I guess. Wow, 9 dimes. Yeah. The dimes are actually, so the thing is too, I don't know if you mentioned this a minute ago, but Miami, if you look at them just simply on FanDuel Fantasy Pros, this year against point guards, really good limiting points, like 6th best. Really bad limiting rebounds, like 6th worst, and really bad limiting assists, 8th worst, right there. So like, this is what you target. Cade's a wildly inefficient player. I don't know how many possessions there's going to be in this game, right? So the Heat are playing at what's their pace at? Come over here.
They're slow, right?
27th. Yeah, they're 27th in pace. And then the Pistons are like right there with them, basically. Get over here. Thank you. Pace is 21st. So they're both in the bottom 10 at pace. This is not a game I even really want to touch. I have nothing from this one. Did you have a bet in this game?
No.
Yeah, you said no. You were just looking potentially at the Cade, either RA or the assists.
Yep. Or it was either Duren rebounds or Cade RA/assists, and I held off on all of the above.
Yeah, and the assist, I think I would end up going with the assists. The reason is that Tobias Harris is out. Get your Toby Harris jokes in now for sure. But like no, I'm not doing it. We're not berating Toby in today. Not today. But let me just take Cade, put him on the court, and just take Toby and take him off the court. Just what a like, oh yeah, I forgot Tobias Harris was playing type of player that Tobias Harris is.
Yeah.
And the assists are what look a little bit better. It's like 0.31. It ends up being like 12 per 36, 12 and a half assists per 36 minutes. There's no reason to think he's not gonna play 35 plus in this game once again, but nothing that I want to mess with. Let's stop bullying around about this game like we're going to talk about it or care about it.
Nothing in this one. I got nothing
for this one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was fully out on this one too. There's a couple of things, by the way. I have been preaching this a little bit on the show, which is the stinky bet. And the stinky bet, I want to have Brian Windhorse doing this as the image. That's like the cover image for the bet.
Why would he say that? Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
Why would they
and that's what comes up when I talk about the stinky bet. Why in the world is a Cavs team that was just favored by 17.5 points against the Wizards, favored by 10 against the Nets, who just lost their only offensive player who can create by himself? Cam Johnson needs you to like set him up. What are they doing now? Like, this is the Jalen Wilson show. The reason that I would assume is stars out, bets up, win one for the Gipper. Schroeder's gone. Everybody counted us out. They don't believe us. We're going to get a bunch of dudes who are playing for their playing time in the NBA, right? So like that would be why it's so stinky that it makes me want to bet plus 10.5 on the Nets is how gross it is. Like they know something. But the other thing that I considered is the Nets did Jared Allen pretty dirty. So that they could set up the KD Harden Kyrie, like 40 games that they played together total, right? I think it was actually less. I think it was 25.
I thought it was 16 that they played. The three
perfect.
of them
Yeah.
together. I thought it was 16.
I think it might be 16 games with all three of them playing at the same time. That makes sense. But they got rid of a center like Jared Allen. And now if you look at the Nets, by the way, and I just pull up someone so I can see on the Cavs so I can see the shot chart against the Nets. Opponent defense, they are 27th right next to the rim. That would probably be something that Jared Allen could help out with. But moving past that, like, I think that revenge narrative is legit. Like, I don't always just go revenge narrative because one time he played on that team.
Yeah.
But like this one I believe in because they did him pretty dirty. I took him first quarter points, and I couldn't believe we got this at 3.5 because he's averaging 4 in the season. He had a monster hit rate until this little slew of games right here where I would argue, I mean, a couple bad matchups. He was barely trying against the Wizards and played fewer minutes than he normally does, but he's good for 9 to 10 minutes and the points. So I'm happy to like fade recent results, take a number that I was just blindly hitting for the first half of the season on the first quarter points. I don't know that this isn't going to be a blowout, even as stinky as it is of a line. So I think just get him in early. They're going to look for him. I think Kenny Atkinson also got done dirty by the Nets. That should have been his first head coaching job. Then he doesn't get it. Then he goes to the Dubs as a bench coach. Then he comes to the Cavs. And now they're playing the Nets in a position that's like, I can't wait to step on their neck. I'm making this stuff up with conjecture, but I like it a lot, to be honest.
He was their head coach, right? They fired him when they
interim. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so when they fired Steve Nash, he was their interim, and then they didn't bring him on full time. Is that what it was?
I believe that. Yep, they didn't bring him on full time after the Steve Nash fire.
Okay,
yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. My only really rebuttal to that is it's been so long since the Jared Allen to the Nets stuff, and nobody there is left. Like Kevin Durant's not there, James Harden's not there, Kyrie Irving's not there. But like Jared Allen over 3.5, regardless of any revenge narrative, is generally a play. So like that's not me saying to not play that.
Right.
It's just the only rebuttal is just to that narrative or to the to the revenge spot.
I actually want to see how has he done it. I don't know if you've played him this year. Yeah, I guess he had a shit game this year. What did he do in the first? He had 9 minutes and got hurt. That's right. Against them in this last. Oh no, this is the first quarter. So no, he just didn't get it against them in the first quarter earlier this year on no shots in 9 minutes. So doing some cardio, just kind of playing the Tony Snell minutes there. So poor Tony Snell, man, just catches a drive-by. He caught a drive-by in the NFL game last night when somebody had like no catches in the first half.
I didn't even notice that.
It was messed up, but anyway, okay, that's my only look for this one. I'm not going to try to guess who's going to do it. I love Keon Johnson as a player. I'm not going to try to guess in this one. I'll just leave it at that. My buddy likes Evan Mobley, which I could see as well, but we might be getting some backups in. So move past that one. What's the total on this one? Do you have anything for this one? This is gonna be fun, actually. I think
the Bulls Raptors. Yeah, I do have official play here. Jakob Poeltl points. I took him over 16.5 at -110.
That's super gone, right?
It's right now 17.5. Oh, you could get over 16.5 at -115, which isn't terrible. That's at Flip though. So like, okay, I use Flip. You can use them in every state, but some people are scared off of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only.
Actually, would you consider Flip pretty sharp?
I don't think they're sharp. No, I think they're pretty. They're like a weird, like a sweepstakes book. So, so I don't consider them sharp, but they're definitely not someone that I'm scared off of.
Yeah.
But you can also get over 16.5 -105 at Hard Rock, which I think is illegal in like 3 states. So that's not super helpful, but -105 for that is solid. I mean, the matchup is as good as it gets against the Bulls. I mean, like literally 30th out of 30 in terms of points per game to the pick and roll man. That you can look at right up there on Props Madness. I hate that they don't give data off of cuts. It's so aggravating.
I know.
It's so stupid.
It's tracking because it's tracking data, right?
No, but cuts up is a play type. If you go to play type, cuts, but they don't give. Yeah. If you go to cut, they don't give defensive data. So that's not a Props Madness thing. That's an NBA.com thing.
Right. That is weird.
Yeah, it's
there's
annoying.
That, and there's the fact that you can't separate play type by recent game.
Yeah, that would be
killer.
Which makes no sense. Yeah, I want to know, like, all right, in the last 10 games, like, what's different? You know what I mean? Like some stuff, especially when you get to like March, like everything being weighted equally is not the way to do it from like stuff at this point, anyways.
Yeah, agreed.
30th out of 30 points to the pick and roll man, and we can presume that they are bad at guarding cuts because look at like if you look up just to the right, players with a similar scoring profile, 7 of 8 have hit their over against the Bulls by an average of like 4.75 points per player. All these roll man guys rim running centers. I mean, he's not a rim running one, but he's a pick and roll guy, I should say.
All these roll man guys.
Yeah, just
or roll guys.
Yeah, they're role players. Yeah, roll man.
Rolling men.
They all feast against the Bulls, and what I like is that on the entire season, the Bulls have the 5th worst defensive net rating, I think, on the year. Over the last 10 games, they haven't been as bad. Only it's still bad, but the 9th worst. But on the entire season, the Bulls have allowed the most points per game in the restricted area. Number 1. Over the last 10 games, the Bulls have still allowed the most points per game, made field goals in the restricted area. So, like, even though their defense has been better, they're not any better guarding the RA. And I mean, that's where Poeltl scores, I don't know, like, go back to his player profile. Like, I forget the number, but a gajillion amount of his points in the restricted area.
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Yeah. And the other ones are just a push shot. It's like either the restricted area or right outside.
Yeah. And against Vucevic, he's just going to go at him, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, Vuce is a traffic cone.
Oh, awful. Yeah, I haven't looked at their stats, but I want to look at Poeltl versus Nikola Vucevic last 6 games.
I haven't looked at that head-to-head.
Yeah, I mean, in the games where, if he saw 30 minutes, he got 21 points, 31 for 15. And I mean, look, this isn't going to be apples to apples either. Obviously, this is a different situation. Some of these games probably had some version of Scotty Barnes or IQ or, Pascal when he was on the team, something like that. So this isn't apples to apples, but for what his normal numbers are, I would say this is a nice increase against a really bad offensive center. And if you look at the points per minute for him in these seasons versus this season, where he's at 16 points a game, probably at about 30, 32 minutes per game, not even, then he's at about half a point a minute this year. So I have no problem. I couldn't take it at 16 and a half. I wanted to take it. So I have RJ on the rebounds and assists, which, by the way, let me add that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Real quick, David, if you don't mind, can you add Modi's bet there to the bottom line that's scrolling, which was just Poeltl over 16 and a half points. Thank you, my man. Much appreciated. The RJ Barrett stuff. Yeah, I took him for the rebounds and assists. I got this at 13 and a half. It's obviously gone up. It opened at 12 and a half. So for those late night bettors there. But yeah, to answer you too, a kid named Coop, like if you're talking about assists or rebounds, I'm good with either. I just ended up taking both and didn't really feel like messing with it. But I love the dimes. If you want to look at that type of stuff for RJ when he's not playing with these two, I can do it here. Can also just do it if you look at it. Well, let's just do it this way. Because how many games does Scotty miss now in the last 2, basically? Just the last one. Yeah, just the last one against Miami. He got hurt against the Knicks, I guess.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So if I'll do it up here, but with RJ, like it's not going to be the most reliable because there haven't been that many minutes where I think I can put the important guys on the court. Because like if I'm putting RJ on the court, wow, it is 45 minutes into the show. We have not yet made a Dick joke. I'm really proud of us. RJ Barrett. Let's put Dick on the floor.
Got to.
Obviously. Ochai and Jakob. And then like it'll be some Davion or Chris Boucher or Olynyk or they've been playing a lot of Battle's out actually. So yeah. Anyway, that you don't want to hear me list off Toronto role players anymore. Off court, I'm gonna put IQ and Scotty Barnes. And that's good for that. Select that. And when I look at this, it's not very many minutes once again. And I want to look at per 36. Gives me a good indication. RJ is definitely playing 36 tonight. If it will load. Come on, meow. When it loads, this is going to look like, I think, about 8 and 8 for RJ. So am I right? Or am I lying to you? No, it's about 7 and a half and 7.5. Let's call it. So it's at about 15 in terms of the averages, and it just went back to points per minute. It's taking its time, whatever. But you get the point. I think 16 is a good is definitely about a good projection for him against the Chicago Bulls. I also just really want to take him for 30 points because as much as Jakob is scoring down low, so is RJ. Like he's a maniac. He's a maniac in transition. 51% right inside the restricted area for RJ. I kind of just want to take the points as well, to be honest. I have no qualms with this. He's at like 27 points per 36 with the lineups that he's going to be playing in this game. And once again, how can you think he's not going to play the 36 minutes or 35, whatever, at least? So yeah, I think I'm getting close to hitting like 30 plus for RJ at 2-1, essentially is kind of where I'm at right now. But that would be the only other thing I have for this game. Didn't take anything for the Bulls yet. You have nothing for the Bulls, right?
Nah, I got nothing.
All right. And I'm just going to look at a couple of things because I know people brought some stuff in here and we can see what they like. The the Kobe White stuff that people were talking about, or what do I have? Gradey. Sorry. There was Kobe White's talk, and then there was Dick talk as well. So the Dick conversation, I don't know.
He's been bad recently, and like I get like Scotty Barnes was back for a lot of that. But to me, he's like spot up guys aren't really the ones if my memory serves.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, as bad as this defense is, 16th against spot ups is very, very good for it.
Exactly. Like if you're telling me like they're below average at everything else, 16th for them. Exactly. Yeah.
Here's the only thing though that I keep coming back to with him. I'm going to go to players and shooting and look at the wait, no, I lied. I'm going to go to players tracking, I believe. No, wait, give me a second. No, players. Maybe it is shooting.
What are you
I'm looking for pull-ups. No, it is it's tracking, right?
You can do it multiple ways. It's tracking and it's shooting. Shot dashboard.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll do it this way. So if I go to pull up shooting and I look at the Raptors, basically everybody that's left on this team other than RJ, he's the top pull-up shooter.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm like, can he score still in this situation? Right? Like he's actually doing it more than RJ, twice as much. Now, granted, like that is something that you need to look at. Like if they're both playing with Scotty and IQ, then Gradey Dick's going to be more of a spot up. RJ's going to be more of a spot up than he normally was.
Yeah.
Gradey Dick plays with the second unit, and that's when he starts pulling up because he's got the ball in his hands, right? So Dick and balls. There's something there. Dick with balls in his hands is what you get when he's playing with the second unit. But when he's with the first unit, then he's more spot up. So maybe he's still good to hit the spot. Like I still get it. 19.5 points and 2.5 for poo-poo juice right here is not something I'm necessarily into. This is a bad team.
19.5 is too much. I guess that's the biggest thing. It's too many points for him, which I get it. Like, yeah, the matchup is there, but I just think it's better for other players on the Raptors.
Yep, agreed. Like even like a Jacoby Walter, to be honest with you, but he's also gonna be doing a lot of spot ups. So are the Bulls bad in the corner? They're just bad. No, actually, they're not as bad in the corner, are they? So
they're average. Really well, not yeah.
You just want it's because you can get whatever you want going to the hoop. You get to the free throw line, right? So yeah. Anyway, all right, good on this game. Did you have anything for the last one? Yeah. Oh no, we've also got the Jazz. My bad. Anything for this game though?
Yeah, last two. So this is the Nuggets one. Yeah. So I have Michael Porter Jr. 3+ made 3-pointers. This one is definitely going to make you feel gross if you look at like that recent hit rate. That's terrible. I mean, he hit that. If you like the green part of that 6 straight at the beginning of the year. Yeah. He's done it in 3 of I think 12 games since. Like he hit it 6 straight and then he hit it in 7 of 8. So after that last one, I think it's 3 of 12. But that's 3-point shooting. That's just how that goes. And like after you make 6 straight. And me and you talk about this all the time, but like a 40% 3-point shooter isn't going to shoot 4 of 10, 2 of 5 every single game. It's going to be like 6 of 8 and then 1 of 10. Like that's just the nature of the beast. I think this is the matchup for him, like against the Kings. Kings have allowed the 3rd most made above the break 3-pointers in the NBA and the most over the last 10 games. So like one thing with like props madness that shows you 28th, so that's 3rd most. If you go to NBA.com and you look at the last 10 games, it's number 1. You're allowing the most made above the break 3-pointers over the last 10 games. And Michael Porter Jr., he's like a catch and shoot guy, but not from the corners. He catches and shoots from the go to made. I'm not sure they are on attempts, but I know they're the most made.
Yeah.
So number 1.
High field goal percentage. Second worst field goal percentage, most makes. Yep.
Yeah. And Michael Porter Jr. is a catch and shoot guy. Like he takes the most catch and shoot 3-pointers on the Nuggets. And the Kings. And sorry for the phone ringing. Parents' house. Of course, there's a landline at a parent's house.
That's amazing.
But the Kings they don't allow a ton of pull-ups, but they do allow a lot of catch and shoot. They allow the 3rd highest frequency of shots against them are catch and shoot 3-pointers.
Yeah.
And then pull-ups is I forget the number, but is not that high. So you want to target a catch and shoot guy. So yeah, I just like Michael Porter Jr. like to bounce back. So and if you go to catch and shoot 3-pointers, it's even higher.
Yeah.
In terms of their frequency, it's the 3rd, 4th. I guess.
Yeah.
So now it's 4th. I swear it was 3rd this morning. Data probably hadn't updated yet from the day before.
We believe you.
Yeah.
It's also by 0.1%. We're gonna let you off the hook on this one.
Okay. So yeah, there you go. And then but pull-ups is not. I forget the number, but pull-ups is not as high.
Yeah.
I don't know what the number is, but I know it's not as high as catch and shoot.
They are 5th fewest. They are allowing the 5th fewest frequency of pull-up 3-pointers, and the overall 2-pointers a little bit worse. They are pretty bad against the mid range actually, which you can see here. 17th, I guess not as bad as I thought.
Yeah,
but you can score on this team. This is a bad defense.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. But they're a catch and shoot, not a pull up team, which is why I want to go to Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I agree. That he would be a good one to target. So you got him for 3 threes. Did you get decent money on that?
Plus 115. I'm not sure what it. Okay. I think it was actually still at that price last I checked. It hadn't moved at all.
MPJ. What did I miss, by the way? The most recent bet that you gave me, MPJ 3 plus 3s. Bob,
the meatloaf.
I missed one from the other game. I want to make sure I get on the bottom.
Jakob Poeltl over 16 and a half.
Because we're not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club. Poeltl over 16.5 points. Okay, cool. I missed that. David put it just under mine instead. I got RJ over 13 and a half RA. Really strongly considering that. For this game, I didn't put anything in yet. What I was trying to see was, is Christian Braun going to play? I do think he is going to play. I think a couple things. I think Julian Strother is good for an under. I don't think he's going to be able to play much in this game. He's going to get cooked off the floor is kind of what I think. So I was looking at that. I don't know if Christian Braun's going to play, though, which is going to open up time for somebody. Yeah. I think Russ is going to end up starting. That's who I would like to be targeting in this one. Russ in a fast-paced game. This one's at like 240 as well for the total. We're 237, bet up from 236. Yeah, like that's where I'm going to be looking once I get a bit more injury news and dropping that in the VIP is some stuff for Russ if Christian Braun is not in. That's where I'm looking. But I think you're totally right. Just anybody that's a spot up. Jamal Murray and assist was just brought up by Kindly C, like that name too. What's he at? 5.5? And so you're saying 7.5 or 7+ for plus money, which is exactly what Modi will see. None of your minus 145. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely not.
You can take that to the bank. So assist for Jamal against a team allowing the 11th fewest assists. If we look at PGs, which is what we'll call Jamal,
they are pretty good. They do allow a decent amount to point guards.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, like 6th, 8th most, something like that?
It's about 7th, 8th. Do we consider? Yeah, I mean, we consider him a point guard. It's just a different offense.
That's the thing. Like that's why I wish Courtside Pal was still alive. Because like his playmaking is going to be different than a typical point guard. It's not going to be a Chris Paul, Trae Young type of playmaker because like Jokic does a lot of that stuff. So his playmaking style is more similar to a shooting guard. If you look at if I remember correctly, going off of Courtside Pal. So I looked at his assists, but it's just like I just never know between him if he's going to be if he's going to be a passer, and without knowing deeper about like the profile and stuff, I held off.
Yeah, I see that. He did have 11 potentials in the last game and only got 3, but that's not quite as much like regression to the mean moment in time for me. Like just because his teammates didn't hit doesn't mean he's going to get 11 potentials in this game. I don't think I can guarantee that. I was actually just we got a question about the points. I think I would actually rather play the points and assists while understanding that. Well, what's the deal with the dribble handoff? Yeah, they're bad at the dribble handoff. This is the type of stuff that I'm thinking of is like, this is a team that puts a decent amount of pressure on the ball. So it kind of does force the ball out of Jamal Murray's hands. What's he done against them? They haven't played this season.
And I'm pretty sure they have not played this year. Yeah.
No, but last year he had 32, he had 12 one game. This was a 29-point loss. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on the 26 minutes. Then they won by 21. He played 33 minutes. He had 12 potentials. Everybody was in that game. The points that he went off, he took 15. He had a crazy good shooting game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that there's a beatable number here for Jamal. I don't know how to find an angle to bet on him. So, all right. I know a lot of you are in there, but since we got Modi, we have had plenty of bets in here. Let's take one look at this game, see if you have anything, and we'll dip out.
Yeah, I got 2 in this one. One I know you're not going to like, so I'll be short. I took James Harden assists. And I totally get it. Like his recent stats is not someone that you want to take their assists. Like his potentials aren't anything that's super encouraging. I totally get it. But this is kind of a similar thing where like in a matchup against the Jazz, like last time he played them, he had 22 potential assists and he had 11 actual assists. He just dominated them. And his hit rate hasn't, like he's missing 3 straight, but like 11 the 2 games prior to that, which isn't terrible. Like the potentials are okay. Like 17 and what was the other one? Like 17 and
18.
That's pretty good. And it's been down the last 3 games. Harden's an effort guy, so like, is he going to care or not? You never know. But if he's playing a bad defense, that's when he can put up stats, and that's when you see the prime. Like Harden's like the opposite of an Anthony Edwards, who doesn't like. Oh, actually, Anthony Edwards always goes hard. He's probably not the best example.
He does,
but
yeah.
He's like the opposite of someone that only gets up for the big matchups. He's the opposite. Yeah. He only gets up for the bad matchups when he can. He can dominate like prime Harden. And it's just a good match. Like the Jazz are just like, they're not the Bulls, but they are a very good matchup for point guard assist props. Like basically anywhere you look, they give up the second most. Props.cash Fantasy Pros, second most on the year. And then if you want to look more recently per hashtag NBA, fourth most over the last month. Going through their game log, like 7 of the last 10 point guards against the Jazz have hit their assist prop. And a lot of them have smoked it. Like Tyus Jones had 11. His over-under was 7.5.
He's so good.
Darren Fox had 9. His over-under was 5.5 in the same game that Malik Monk, I think, had 8 on an over-under, also of 5.5. And I'll buy the dip. Like you normally see Harden at over 9.5 for even money. I got over 8.5 for minus 105. It actually got to plus 100 at one point, so I didn't even get the best line. I think that's been nuked a little bit. The 8.5.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Do you think you wouldn't be playing this at minus 125 or higher or lower? I mean.
Minus 125. Let me see. Yeah, I would at this point. I'd go give me 10 plus 130 at Bet365.
I could have answered that for myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're betting 3 to 5 bets a day and you're playing minus 120, like it's just going to be really hard to make money consistently.
Right.
Unless you're like,
and that's what we've talked about. We've talked
about
that together. That's a quick like learning moment for everyone, which is like Modi is not necessarily playing as much volume as other bettors, but he is playing them at plus money. That is a better way to go if you're going to keep that volume low. And honestly, if you keep it high, it doesn't necessarily change that too much. But to your point, like you're trying to actually like make profit. So you're going slightly fewer bets with better odds for the return. Sometimes smaller units, sometimes same one unit. Yeah. That is one way to do it. And then another way is that you throw out, you bet 10 to 15 in a day and you're playing volume and you're going to have a hit rate maybe still around 54%, but that's going to be enough to profit at minus 110 to minus 115, which it feels like minus 115 is the new minus 110 because fuck the books. But that's kind of where we're at. So cool. I get it. I'm not going to poo-poo this bet at all. This makes total sense. I'm going to tell you that I'm done with this man.
Yeah,
for sure.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm so fucking out on him. But you know what's interesting? And I'm starting to talk myself into this. Also, by the way, if you are at all been paying attention to any of the stuff I've been doing, I will be betting this man until you pry his bets from my dead fingers. Like I am so all over. Why is he still at 9.5? Like, is he at 19.5 PR? Maybe I'm dumb, and I get that. Like Jordan Clarkson is back in, which he was back in for the last game. Cody Williams isn't going to be in, even though he's healthier. Like, there's nothing here that's changed over the course of this. All of this green that makes me not want to take it against a team that he's going to play 30 minutes because it's got Zubac in it playing 30 minutes. So he's going to match Zubac's minutes. Filipkowski's back too. Don't care about that. I'll tell you that right now. He's not going to be able to handle Zoo. Filipkowski's going to be a great stretch 4, even 3. So yeah. And this is David talking for me, I think, which is great because he knows how much I love Walker Kessler. So I bet this over 19.5. I got it minus 120 as well. Hasn't moved. Don't care. Love this bet. So I'm going to just give that one right now. And then David, sorry, also if you could throw that on the bottom line, much appreciated for the Walker Kessler bet. And I'm now really talking myself into Kevin Porter Jr. as a form of like also fuck James Harden. So here's what I was looking at because I was like, how come every time I bet, now I bet overs and I bet unders equally here for James Harden, but I'm like, how come every time I bet on James Harden, if he does well in the first half and it's an under, I'm okay because I know in the second half he's going to suck. Why is he sucky in the second half? I don't know. It feels like he's tanking, but there's nothing to tank for. And they're in the top 2 in the division. So I don't know. But if you look at the second half of games, and it's actually more pronounced in the last like 10. If I go to the last 10 games and I just look at players and I split this into first half to start and hit get stats, I believe Harden is the leading scorer. Yeah, 13.7 points. He's taken 10 shots. He's got 4.2 assists per game in the first half. Kevin Porter's down here in the 7 games he's played at just 10.5 minutes, 4 points, right? But then if you go to the second half, he's better than James Harden. And I don't know if this is because they've been losing some games, or he was. Maybe it wasn't the last 10. Maybe it was just on the season. He was better than James, but he goes up to 8 from 4. He doubles his points, and that gets you to 12. Maybe it was like the last 6 games because he's been on a heater for like 6 games in a row or something like that. But either way, maybe it was just the 3 that I looked up. In the last 3, he's outscoring James in the second half. So I'm just kind of like, is this going to continue? Can I bank on Kevin Porter Jr.? They don't have as much offense. Like Chris Dunn is good, probably going to get minutes too, and I don't mind an over for him. But I don't know, man. I'm really close to betting on KPJ if he's going to get like 25 plus minutes, which he's gotten 24-ish in the last couple games. One was without Harden, I'll give you that. So, but I don't know. I think he's still going to be a force at 24 minutes. So I'll be looking at that one. I haven't bet that yet, but anyway, I think we're good. Did you have any parting words for the people?
I got one last play in this game, and then I'm good.
Sorry to not let you do that.
No, you're good. It's Norm Powell 3-pointers.
Norm Powell.
This one's more in line with something that's not going to freak people out. Like he's missed this in 2 straight, but he hit it in 4 straight prior to that. That is more in line with like how you probably should be taking a 3-point prop is like 4 straight and then missed it in 2 straight. It hasn't shot well. 3 of 10 isn't terrible, but whatever.
But it's not great, but it's 10 and 8 attempts, which
exactly.
is what we care about.
It's 18 in 2 games. Yeah, exactly. And the matchup against the Jazz is also very good. It's very similar to the Kings or catch and shoot defense that you want to target. They allow the 3rd most made 3-pointers overall, just like raw 3-pointers made. But over the last 10 games, literally, so the most attempted catch and shoot, above the break 3-pointers. So the Kings allow the most made. The Jazz allow the most attempted above the break 3-pointers in the last 10 games, and the 3rd most made. Same 10-game stretch, they allow the 2nd most catch and shoot 3-point attempts as well. Norm Powell, he's like kind of a mix between pull up and catch and shoot. Like he doesn't catch and shoot nearly as much as like Malik Beasley, guys like that. But he does shoot a ton of 3-pointers. He shoots the most catch and shoot and the 2nd most above the break, only behind Harden. Only Harden takes more above the break than him. Last time he played the Jazz, he put up 11 3-pointers. He made 4. This is plus 115. This has stayed at plus 115 all day. But yeah, I mean, like, no line movement is a little bit scary, but yeah, I would still hit it. Like, I mean, the exact price that I got. So I'm not gonna be like, no, don't bet it because it hasn't moved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was my point with Walker too. Was like, yeah, this is scary. I like it, and I guess the only question for you is then like, so what's the parlay with Harden and Powell? Because like Harden has like 4 dimes per game to Powell. So if you think Powell's going to be making shots and you think Harden's going to be hitting assists, I don't know, man, maybe like a little like, or, 4+ with the like 20+ or like that 10+ assists for Harden, something like that. I could probably get you some plus money. Maybe I'll play around with it and call it the Modi special.
The problem is
my channel.
The books just,
God damn it. Why is he not starting?
Yeah, they're starting Drummond. I think that's fine. He's still going to play 25 minutes.
That's why we said this bet is still based on him playing 25 minutes. So yes, the answer is no, it does not change the bet at all for me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I had one more thing I was going to mention but no, that's good. We're good with that. Go ahead and give that video a like, much appreciated. I'm hoping to keep collabing because especially when we have Monday and Thursday football and basketball, I know you have guests on your show, so I won't interrupt it, but I'm gonna be bugging you to do this again because it's a collab. Like it's on both our channels.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Right? Yeah,
I love it.
No,
so
100%.
Appreciate y'all getting in here. I know we had a lot of stuff. Timothy Thomas calls me squirrel because of my ADD when we be doing shows, and I'm just like, wait, what other bet can I look at? Anyway. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, give that video a like. I've got all the bets scrolling on the bottom line. David's as he reminds me, is gonna help me get those onto the pinned comment on the YouTube channel. So I have both of our bets clearly laid out there. If you're not following Modi on Twitter, actually, this is streaming to your Twitter, not mine too. So
there you go.
I messed that up and meant to do mine, but still gave it to you. So whatever. But follow him at JediModi, which because you're here on Twitter probably, or I'm at JL Boogie, and I will be back with the live show tomorrow, video tonight for the one game that we have tomorrow, and then we're back the rest of the week. So
there we go.
Appreciate you, my man. We'll talk soon, I'm sure, and we'll be doing this again. Cool.
All
right, bro. All right. Till we talk to you guys next. Happy betting.